what I need to do here is write these fractions as a single fraction. So here I have 3 as the denominator, and here I have 2. I need a common denominator to do that. That common denominator I'm going to use is 6, so I'll need to multiply the top and the bottom of this fraction by 2, the top and the bottom of this fraction by 3. So I'll start by writing that. So times 2 and times 2 times 3 and times 3. So this doesn't change the value of the fractions. That's why we're allowed to do that. Now, this top bit here, I have 3x plus 4. That's 2 terms here. When I multiply that by 2, I will need to write 2 and then in brackets 3x plus 4 to show that I'm multiplying all of it by 2. So 2 times 3x plus 4. And here at the bottom I'm going to have 6. Take away goes there. And again, same thing here. 3 times all of this, so in brackets. So 3 times 4x take away 5. And at the bottom I have 6. Now, I'm going to continue with 2 separate fractions. It looks like I can put them together now, but I'm going to continue with 2 separate fractions. So I will have 2 times 3x, so I'll expand this now. 2 times 3x and 2 times 4. So that will give me 6x plus 8 over 6. And then I'll need to take away. And here I'm going to expand this one. So 3 times 4x and 3 times negative 15. So that's 12x take away 15 over 6. Now here, I need to take away, remember, now that we've got common denominator, we can now put them together. Now I need to take away all of this top bit here. Now when I say that, I need to put it in brackets, because otherwise it will change my answer. So if I have 6x plus 8 take away, in brackets, 12x take away 15, all over 6, this will be fine. So now I need to take away the 12x, that will give me negative 12x. I need to take away the negative 15, that will give me positive 15. So this will then be 6x plus 8, take away 12x, plus 15 over 6. And finally, I can simplify now. So 6x and negative 12x together is negative 6x. Plus 8 and plus 15 makes 23. So plus 23 over 6. I could also have written 23 take away 6x over 6. So here again, I need to write these 2 fractions as a single fraction. This happens when we have an add or a take away between the fractions. This time our denominators aren't just numbers. We have x plus 2 here and x take away 3 here. Now, when we have terms like this, so it's x plus 2 and x take away 3, the denominator that we want to use is x plus 2 multiplied by x take away 3. Sometimes this will be a factor of this denominator, or this may be a factor of that denominator. So sometimes we need to look out for that and use a different denominator. But this time we're going to multiply top and bottom here by x take away 3, top and bottom here by x plus 2. So I'm going to write that down. So times this by x take away 3, and times the top by x take away 3, times here by x plus 2, and times here by x plus 2. All right, so what we're going to get is x multiplied by x take away 3 here. At the bottom, I'm going to get x plus 2 and x take away 3. And then I have an add. And then x plus 1 needs to multiply, so I have to put this in brackets. X plus 1, bracket x plus 2. And at the bottom, I'm going to have x take away 3 and x plus 2. Now, this time I've got an add instead of a take away. Now, when I have an add, it won't make too much difference if I just write my next thing as one big fraction. But it's when I have a take away, I must make sure that I put an extra bracket around this to show that I'm taking away all of it. And first expanding it will help me as well. So let's expand it. So we've got x squared take away 3x. I'm still going to do it as 2 fractions, so x plus 2 and x take away 3. I'll expand the bottom bit later. Plus x squared, I will get 1x and I will get another 2x. That will give me 3x, so plus 3x. and 1 times 2 is 2, plus 2, bracket here, x take away 3, and x plus 2. Now I'm going to put it as one fraction. Remember, when I'm adding all of this, it won't make a difference. I don't need to put a bracket here. It's when I have a takeaway, I need to show that I'm taking away all of it. It's so that I don't make the mistake where I'm just taking away the first one and I don't take away the rest of them. Okay? So here we're going to put it as one fraction, and I'm going to expand the bottom as well. So next line will be x squared take away 3x plus x squared plus 3x plus 2. So that's all of the things at the top. And at the bottom, I'm going to get x squared. 2 times x is 2x. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. 2x and negative 3x together make negative x, or take away x. And 2 times 3 is negative 6. And of course, this expansion here would be the same thing. I can simplify the top, and that'll be it. So I have x squared, and I have x squared. That's 2x squared. I have negative 3x and plus 3x. That's nothing. And then I have a plus 2 here. And the bottom, I will have x squared, take away x, take away 6. And this is it. Sometimes it may not ask for you to expand these brackets out, okay, because here it's just asking write as a single fraction, but I've just expanded it just to show you what that looks like as well. Okay, this question asks us to simplify. This will happen when we have a multiplication or division here. Remember, when we have a divide, dividing by a fraction is the same as timesing by the reciprocal of the fraction. So what you can do is change the divide into a times, and the second fraction you can just put the bottom at the top and the top at the bottom. Now, when we simplify, what we need to do is we need to be able to factorize, because this is all adding and subtracting. But if we factorize, we write it all as a multiplication. And when we have that, we can start cancelling down. So if we factorize this quadratic expression here, now I need to think about two numbers that multiply to give me negative 10, and when I add them, they give me 3. That will be 5 and negative 2. So I can say this is going to be x plus 5 in a bracket and x take away 2. And at the bottom, if I factorize this bit here, x squared plus 4x plus 3. So multiplication has to be 3, and when I add them, it will be 4. So that will be 3 and 1. So positive 3 and positive 1. So I would have x plus 3 and x plus 1. I'm timesing that 2. Now, the bottom of this fraction, x plus 5, that won't factorize, so I can just write that down, x plus 5. But the top does. So x squared take away 1 is a difference of 2 squares. So I can factorize that to x plus 1 and x take away 1. Now, I can put them in one fraction, but here, when I times by x plus 5, I can put x plus 5 in a bracket and just multiply it to that. So that will be x plus 5, x take away 2, x plus 1, and x take away 1. And at the bottom, I will have x plus 3, x plus 1, and this multiplied to x plus 5. Now, I've got this bracket multiplied by this bracket, multiplied by this bracket, and multiplied by this bracket. So I have a multiplication here, and I have the same at the bottom. When you have a multiplication at the top and bottom, what you can do is you can start cancelling down. So I can say x plus 5 is a factor of the top and is a factor of the bottom, so I can cancel down this factor. So I can say this will cancel down with that. And I can also see that x plus 1 is a factor of both top and bottom, so I can cancel those ones down. So that can go with that. And then I have x take away 2 here and x take away 1, and I have x plus 3 here. Now, these are not common factors. We don't have common factors now, so this won't simplify anymore. So at the bottom now, what I will have is x plus 3, and I won't write that in a bracket because I don't need that anymore. And at the top, I will have x take away 2 and x take away 1. Okay, I don't need to expand this. I can leave it like this. This is now simplified. Now, here are some for you to try. So you've got 2 questions here where you need to write as a single fraction. Remember, when you have the takeaway, you need to take away all of the top bit whenever you're ready to do that. Here you need to simplify these fractions, and also here we've got division. So remember, divide needs to change to a times, and this fraction will need to be turned upside down. Here we've got write a question like question 2. So write a question like this question, a simplified question, that simplifies to x plus 4 at the top and x take away 3 at the bottom.